Hello Internet, I'm Dan.
And I'm Chaz, and this is Wine is Serious Business, episode 265.
Yep.
We've been drinking rosé.
Yeah, we were going to do some Pinot Noir today, but then it got kind of warm. Yeah. Chaz was at the shop, picked up some rosé, asked me to pick up a bottle of rosé. So we're doing 3 bottles of rosé. It's that time of year.
It is that time of year. So we got all 2014 rosés here. Kind of a mashup, because you never know what's in the Teutonic wine. But the wine we're going to start with the first one is the Illahe Estate Tempranillo Rose from 2014.
Yeah, so those of you who don't know, Illahe is fairly south in the Willamette Valley. The Willamette Valley runs quite a ways south in the state of Oregon, but it's further south than any of the AVAs we talk, like the sub-AVAs we talk about a lot.
Yep.
They do some good work with Riesling. Actually, I've tasted their stuff at a couple of events with the Teutonic folks.
They make there's some great Pinot grapes that come out of that vineyard too, right?
Totally, yes.
This is their bottling, right?
Yeah,
the
definitely.
vineyard,
this is their house label. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, shout out to Evesham Woods, Illahe Vineyard. Actually, that's consistently really nice.
A great bottling.
And then also thanks to Adam at Prospect Wine Shop on Killingsworth. Walked in, asked for a recommendation. This was his suggestion, so I'm like, yeah, I like Illahe. Let's check it out.
Awesome. So first off, very light in color,
totally.
Right? Like this is like a really pale pink, which is kind of nice. It looks beautiful. It's almost like an orange wine kind of in color.
It is, yeah. It's drifting in that direction.
Yeah.
Pretty light nose, a little bit of earthy character, edging into a little bit of brambles, but it's not strong here.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of cherry skin, yeah.
Yeah, the fruit is sort of a lighter, sort of later aspect to the nose, or a lighter aspect to the nose. Sort of struggling with what to even kind of guess what the nose is. There's definitely like a little bit like brambly greenness or something, but like it's, I don't know. It's light red fruit.
Yeah, it's pretty light, yeah. On the palate, I'm really feeling it. Not in that the flavors are like super intense, but they're just really pleasant. And it's got this like light, fresh feeling, which is primarily driven by the acidity, I think, like some really good grapefruit flavors. As I've been doing this for a while, I've also kind of come to the opinion that when it feels that really like zesty, lively flavor, there's a little CO2 wrapped up in the wine. It's not bubbling. There's nothing like that.
There is actually.
Oh, there is a little bit of bubbles?
So yeah, we kind of like, hanging out a little bit before the show. I was like, what are we going to do to ease into the show? Gotta have a glass of wine, relax a little bit.
Turn some cardboard
sideways.
Let's just,
a little bit of that. But also, let's just crack into these and see what they're like, right? Kind of get to know them. And so this one, I think, had a little bit of bubbles in it. I saw it in the glass a couple times.
Makes sense. So even though it's not bubbly on the palate, it still has that like light, fresh, lively feeling, which I love in a lot of wines of a lot of styles, really. But it's working well here.
And when this was cold, I sort of almost struggled with the acidity. Like the fruit was sort of dialed back, and sort of like the flavors from like maybe a Tempranillo or like another dark grape, sort of maybe like almost reminding you of Cab Franc, like a rosé of Cab Franc. Sort of those flavors, but the acidity was kind of, I don't know, strong. And as this has warmed up, the fruit flavors have kind of emerged from it a little bit. And I kind of like it almost a little warmer.
I agree.
Sat out a little bit. Like this is drinking really nice now.
Still definitely below room temp.
Right.
But it's more like cellar, just above
cellar temp. Yeah. So probably like 60 degrees somewhere in there. But yeah, overall really nice.
Yeah. Just a little like earthy edge. Like when he made that Cab Franc remark, I thought that was dead on, because there's that little bit of herbal thing, or in my
the thing in the palate,
the grapefruit.
The end of the finish, like right as it starts to like the mid palate falls off, there's like that little almost like hint of greenness, or like pepper, like you get like a bell pepper thing sort of in Cab Franc sometimes. Like this isn't that, but it's got that sort of reminds you of that.
Just in that direction a little bit. Really solid. I enjoy it. 87 points, I guess, if I gotta do it. Pretty straightforward. Nothing really make you run and go crazy about it, but very pleasant rosé.
Right, I would agree. It's more of it's a very straightforward wine. Like the fruit flavors are just easy to understand. The acidity, I really like the balance of the wine now as opposed to when I drank it right out of the fridge. I felt a little less interested in it before. It's really quite nice now. 86 points. I would have gone like lower. I would have gone like 85 points earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, the experience now is really nice. So good time.
Yeah. And I feel a little weird about this, right? A lot of people definitely feel that rosés are generally not made for this sort of treatment of discussion and analysis. I mean, that's kind of what we do.
Oh, yeah.
But,
I can tell you that if you buy this on a warm day and this is what you're after, like what was this? $16, $15.
Something like that. Yeah, it's
Great. It's a good bottle of wine at that price point. So go ahead and pour it up. So our second wine is from a producer that we've had on the show a few times.
Yeah, friends of ours.
Lock Camera Pour.
Lock Camera
Use a
Pour.
teacup.
Cute butterfly glass there.
This is the Teutonic Laurel Vineyard Rose from 2014. The question is, and I'm sure Barnaby, if Barnaby sees this show, or Olga especially will see the show, what is it? Or do you guys even know?
Yeah, it doesn't say Pinot Noir Rose. It might all be Pinot Noir even too. Yeah. That also wouldn't surprise me if that's just what they had.
It's really dark though.
Yeah. So if there's interesting stuff in there that you want to share with the world, put it in the comments. I know some of our viewers would love to hear it.
And this is, color-wise, man, just...
Yeah.
Like strawberry Kool-Aid, when you were a kid.
But darker stuff, right? And this is all, they're all 2014s, and people had a lot of fruit to work with in 2014. There weren't ripeness problems, right? Like
we're not ripeness.
Yeah, I think that we're coming out of the 13 rosés, which are all going to be light. A lot of people made more rosé than they wanted to in 2013, I suspect. But people got the ripeness they wanted in 14.
Awesome. Now that smells good.
And these two are a little colder too. We re-chilled them.
Correct.
Good nose going on here. Little apple, little raspberry, a little bit of
strawberry,
baked fruit, kind of, or like fruit in a little fruit tart or something like that.
Like almost like that rhubarb tart thing that you had at Ken's. Yeah, it sort of reminded me of that. Maybe a little hint of rhubarb.
Gonna make Joe Swick jealous again, right? Talking about
Ken's
talking about
Bakery.
Ken's.
We live like 3 blocks from Ken's Artisan Bakery, and it's
for
just
like another week.
Yeah, for like another week. But yeah, by the way, this will be the last show in these digs.
Yeah.
Soon we will have a new backdrop, a new apartment. Chaz is moving again. Anyway.
Yeah, it's good moving back with Matt, which I'm sure some of you remember.
Nice nose. This smells delicious.
Yeah,
this smells awesome.
Again, really good acidity, hits the palate right away.
Oh, yeah.
Good
zippy too.
Green apple zest to it, good feel. I really like that.
Almost like a citrusy zest thing. Like the acid here is just fantastic. And packed with, like, a lot of times you'll lean towards more like watermelon or like lighter red flavors.
Yeah.
Like, this is definitely more of like almost like a strawberry juice.
Yeah.
Like it's got a lot of red fruit.
A little bit of earthy notes. I think it's kind of amusing for those of you watching. You can see that the rosé of Tempranillo is by far the lightest of the 3. Nobody would guess that.
Right.
Strawberry
kind of crazy.
Yeah, strawberry flavors I think linger really well on the palate, kind of on the finish too. Along with the acidity. Yeah.
I agree with the apple descriptor too. Like there's definitely a little bit of that like juiciness that you kind of get from apples and stuff, and I can totally see. But yeah, altogether like a bit more intense. Like kind of crazy that we're going from a Tempranillo Rosé to a Teutonic wine. Like this is a step up in intensity levels. I think across the board. Like the acid is a little more forward. The fruit is definitely a little more intense, and there's more to it. Yeah.
Solid stuff, and I've had this at least 2 other times, maybe 3 other times. This is the most I've enjoyed it. So I'm inclined to say, like, leave it open for a little while, keep it in the fridge for a little while. This is about right at cellar temp right now, I think.
Probably,
right? This is right at your mid 50s or something like that. Little glass like this. It's working really well for me.
I agree.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
88 plus is where I take it, but a little bit of complexity, just really enjoyable flavors. And they made more of it, they said, this year than usual, so seize the moment.
Yeah, worth grabbing. I'm going to go as well, 88 plus, like almost 89 points. Like I really like the way the acidity is on this, and I really like how long the fruit flavors linger. I'm a person who tends to, my rosés, I can like them like sort of lightweight, but I like them when they are pretty intense. Like rosé can be really fun when it's, because you're drinking it cold most of the time, right? But when it's really like got great acidity and kind of like fruit flavors that are expressive and right there the whole time, like that's what this has got, and I like it.
It's brilliant. Do the rinse. I'm gonna say thanks. We got one new like on the blog lately. I want to give Shout out to Susan Murray, another person I don't believe I've met before.
No.
That signed up, at least according to Facebook, wants to watch what we've been up to. So thank you. Hopefully
Appreciate
you enjoy
it.
what you see.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That flavor is even stronger.
Yeah.
now.
So Jerusha actually nailed this when we were tasting it earlier. We're like, oh, what's kind of going on? A little bit of complexity.
It reminds me of it reminds me of sort of like a oh god,
You can do it.
I brain farted.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me of margarita.
Sure.
Right, like sort of like that. It reminds me of a cocktail.
Sure.
A cocktail I've had in the past. Originally, I was like, okay, it's margarita. No, it's not margarita. It's something else. But there's like this like sour, sort of bitter, whatever. And Jerusha's perfectly nailed it.
Yeah, a little bit of Negroni, right? A little bit of that Campari flavor there, and it even comes through on the nose.
Man, but even the rinse that we just did, it was
it's just
so strong.
It's really obvious, and it makes me wonder. Primarily, I'm like, was there a lot of whole cluster in the wine that this was taken from? So this is a Saignee, I think.
Yeah, Saignee.
Yeah, failing
Saignee.
at French pronunciation again. Nothing new for those of you who watch us regularly.
Yeah.
From Amie, this is the Cuvee Midnight Saignee from 2014. Had good experiences out there. Definitely a place I think you should hit up if you're out tasting in the valley, and especially if you're new. Like, they're one of the places that's got great views, good wines, but if you've got like
It's a beautiful location.
some sandwiches, or if you want to like sit and really soak up the view and drink a little bit of wine, they're one of the best places in the valley for it, I think.
Totally agree.
Yeah, totally enjoyable. But yeah, so that I wonder. So I'm wondering if there's a bunch of whole cluster in there, right? I wonder if this flavor
I
comes
wonder
from the
where
stems.
that comes from. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like what was it fermented in, right? Or
Yeah.
who knows? So
If you don't know, Saignee is when they press when they leave the juice on the skins for a while, and then they pull some of the juice out, right? And what's left stays on the skins and becomes full on Pinot Noir, right? A little darker, more skin to juice ratio, right? So that's going to be a little more concentrated. Tasting how strong this is, I'm really curious to see what their 2014 like premium tier Pinot Noir tastes like, because I bet that's going to be there's going to be a lot of flavor in that stuff, right? It's going to be big wines. Curious.
Because the rosé, it smells quite good. That sort of like Campari thing sort of does come through on the nose a little bit, but it's definitely more fresh fruited. Like it.
Yeah.
It isn't until you taste it that.
Yeah, and it's not like you got a cup full of Campari. It's like knocking you in the face. It's not like that.
No, but it's
it's a distinct aroma.
Some raspberries, almost like a touch herbal on the nose. Like a little bit of the acidity's poking through. I kind of like that when you can kind of smell like, okay, I'm about to get into a wine with some zippy acidity.
Yeah, but and definitely on the stronger, darker side, which I know a lot of people like on the rosés. So I go back and forth. Yeah, it's crazy.
That flavor,
Yeah, front end's got some strawberries there. I think a little bit of rhubarb, a little bit of earthy character.
Totally. Yeah, a little bit of sourness. Yeah.
Back end, right? Yeah, back end, just that touch of Campari, a little bit of earthy character. The acidity's good across it. I think it keeps the mouth watering.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great acidity, like the way it feels is really nice in the palate. It ends with a refreshing sort of feel, kind of makes you want to drink more of it. It's refreshing, and it's good.
Yeah. If you definitely like rosés on the bigger side, like this is definitely...
This is on the larger side.
Stronger flavor than some 2013 Pinot Noirs. For sure, right? There's a lot going on here, and I know that suits some of you well. For me, it's tough to say, I guess. I'm going to go 86, but...
well, it's based on what you like. Right?
Yeah. Well, and
the flavor, that flavor is distracting. At least for me, it's distracting.
Oh.
A little bit.
Sure.
Right. Like at times I like it, but at the same time I'm like, I don't know. Like I like how fresh these ones end on. Like this ends with like this sort of sour bitterness sort of thing in the finish. That
but
it's a little distracting.
I do kind of like it. Like I would, from the sounds of this recent discussion, I'm going to end up taking this bottle home. I'm going to drink the rest. I'm going to drink the rest of this and enjoy it. So just keep that context in mind, but I think it delivers well.
Yeah, so 85 points for me.
Sure.
I definitely, Yeah, just 85 points. Like I already sort of said. That sort of flavor, the flavor and the finish is a little distracting to the rest of the wine for me, but great acidity, great overall acidity. Like I really like the fruit flavors up front, and I really like the way it smells.
Yeah, and another note there, John Groschow, when we talked to him years ago, congrats on your winery, by the way. If you see
Yeah,
this,
absolutely.
But,
They're moved to the Brook space.
yeah,
right?
yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
He talked about how he likes to have a little bit of bitterness in his wine to complement like the food that it's working with or whatever. And I think if your palate is of that nature, this would probably be your favorite of the three. So
this thing in the finish is so crazy. Like it's reminding me of like sort of a gin and tonic with like a heavy lime thing, but it's like just that weird like sour bitterness in the finish.
And not boozy. Don't take that from
yes, no. It's a fairly low alcohol wine. Like it's only 13% alcohol. Like it's not boozy. It's just the way it finishes. Like it reminds me very much of cocktails I've had.
So I saw on Facebook this week that you did a 21-mile run. You got a marathon coming up, or you just?
Yeah, May 9th. Okay. May 9th we're running Eugene. So
nice.
Allison, Matt's girlfriend, is running it with us, or she was already running it. I had signed up for it as well.
Cool, Matt doing it too?
No, but you know, party team. So
yeah.
Jerusha and him and my mom will be there and be there with me for a 40 of high life at mile 20, which is typical of every marathon I've ever ran. So
we'll cut one of those photos in. That's good stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah, well, there we go. Good question of the day too. What's your favorite drink after a big workout, big run? Don't say water. I know that's the right thing to do, but I know if you're watching the show, you've got vices.
What's yours?
Yeah.
Like you worked out hard, and you're like gonna go treat yourself to a meal, and like you're gonna have a drink. What is it?
So you got the whole world of stuff to choose. You know, I'm a sucker for Riesling. I think that crisp, like a Cabernet Riesling. Definitely a little back on the sweetness, but that nice, refreshing acidity.
Yeah.
A little bit of that lively nature, maybe a little CO2 type.
So a younger Cabernet.
Yeah, definitely. Just like young, fresh, a little zippy, kind of reviving. Yeah. What about you?
Japanese beer.
Really?
Like acai or a Kirin Ichiban. Like it's got, those tend to be really dry and like have a lot of crispness to them, and
that makes a ton of sense.
I go there. I usually like literally every time I finish a long run, I go down to the cheap sushi restaurant down the street, get a large beer and a couple rolls. And
That's good. That's washed out when you do a 20-mile run.
Yeah.
Big week for me. I'm trying to get back into it again. I got back up to 1 mile, which is pathetic. But but it's progress, right? It's awesome. It's moving forward, not backwards. So we'll see. Maybe I'll be able to tell you next week I did too. We'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you guys next time. Cheers.